back to the channel, everybody. This is Kodeations, and in today's video, we're going to be diving back into some Cookie Run Kingdom, and specifically talking about the Kingdom Arena. As you guys know, it's officially going to be resetting in approximately 24 hours. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks, and not only that, bring you 3 team compositions that you guys can use to hopefully increase your overall tier before it officially ends. Right in, ladies and gentlemen, as you guys can see here, Dark Cacao Season 2 of the arena is going to be ending in 1 day and 14 hours. And when the season comes to an end here, based on your overall rank, as you can see, I'm currently here in the top 50 in Masters 3. You're going to be getting an additional amount of crystals and also medals. So naturally here, you want to make sure that you are climbing up to whatever the highest tier that you can reach before it does come to an end, as you're going to get better rewards the higher you rank. For those of you guys that might not know here, you utilize these medals not only to buy some of these various resources here, but you can also use it to farm out ancient cookies and also now super epic cookies for 100% free. And yeah, you heard me right, 100% free. All you got to do is grind out the arena, get these medals from doing each individual match, but on top of that, when the season officially ends, you're going to get a massive lump sum of medals, which then once again, you can then go back into this shop every single reset and then buy additional soul stones for ancients and also now super epic. So absolutely do not want to sleep on this. So with that being said here, let's dive into 3 arena team compositions that you guys can build right now to hopefully help increase your overall rank before the season officially ends. The very first team composition we've got, and that's going to be this one you see on screen. We've got Dark Cacao, Wild Berry Cookie, Caramel Arrow, Maddie, and then last but not least we've got, and that's going to be Pomegranate. As far as our overall treasures go, we've got the Old Pilgrim Scroll, we've got the Robe, and then also the Sign. This one is going to be a very popular team composition right now in the overall arena. It's basically a 4-tank team. Technically, it's only 3 tanks by, their individual classes, but nevertheless, we all know Caramel Arrow is also a frontline unit. So essentially, it's 4 tanks with a support unit to buff their overall attack, thus allowing them to do insane damage. Taking a look at the toppings here for each individual cookie, we've got Wild Berry Cookie first, coming in on a full solid almond build. Again, ideally, you're just trying to maximize as much damage resistance as you possibly can, and also going to be maximizing the crit resistance because that also plays a big part for the overall arena. Next up we've got, and that's going to be Dark Cacao. Once again, running a full solid almond set, just trying to maximize as much damage resistance as you possibly can, alongside crit resistance, again, just to make sure that they can survive the entire round. One thing that you guys are going to notice here, and that's going to be utilizing solid almonds throughout pretty much all these team compositions on most of the cookies. Right now, at the current state of the game for the overall arena meta, people are building super tanky cookies to then take advantage of the attack bonus buff that is applied as the timer counts down in the overall arena match. And then hopefully by the time that counter counts down, the enemy has gone first or utilized their skills or they're on cooldown, therefore allowing you to pretty much do as much DPS as you can to them to hopefully kill them, taking advantage of that buff. Next up we've got, and that's going to be none other than Maddie or Madeline, and they're going to be utilizing a full solid almond set, once again stacking up as much damage resistance as you possibly can. However though, with the exception of attack speed, we want to make sure that Caramel Arrow and Madeline here actually take advantage of the buff provided by the Robe treasure. Next up we've got here, and that's going to be none other than Caramel Arrow. Now for this team composition, because we're utilizing Pomegranate Cookie, we're going to be utilizing full crit percent toppings here on Caramel Arrow, because not only here are we going to be utilizing the Scythe treasure to provide increased crit percent, so then obviously Caramel Arrow and everybody will have an increased amount of chance to hit as a critical strike, doing more damage, but we're going to be utilizing the attack buff provided by Pomegranate skill here to then also increase the damage of our cookies, aka Caramel Arrow. With that being said, and those additional buffs, and utilizing the buff provided by the timer in the match, crit percent is going to allow us to achieve a even higher attack threshold on Caramel Arrow. And then last but not least here we've got, and that's going to be none other than Pomegranate. Pomegranate, once again, we're going to be running a full Swift Chocolate set just so we can utilize her skill as much as possible and as often as possible, utilizing that heal and also that attack buff. Again, when it comes to overall cooldown, you want as much cooldown as you can stack. We've got a little bit of attack speed here, but we don't want that to be the main focus or the most attack speed because, again, we want to make sure that Madeline here and also Caramel Arrow get the speed increase from the Robe Treasure. Alrighty, so then officially diving into the second team composition here that you can absolutely build that is killing it right now in the overall meta, and that's going to be this one here. We've got Clotted Cream in the front. We've got Pumpkin Pie here in the center with Sorbet Shark. We've got Parfait in the back along with Herb. And then as far as our three treasures, we've got the Old Pilgrim Scroll, the Revive Feather, and then also the Jelly Watch for the insane cooldown. Now, this team here is going to be kind of like the opposite here, or the counter of the very first team that I showed you. The more tanks that you have on your team, this team's going to absolutely excel at because that's what this team is designed. Utilizing Clotted Cream's Light Cage ability to push, the frontmost enemy to the back, make sure they can't receive any buffs, do as much damage as you possibly can. On top of Sorbet's skill here, and then also Pumpkin Pie, this team really allows you to just pick apart those tank-heavy teams and hopefully have enough damage at the end to DPS whatever, cookies are left on their team at the very end to get the win. But nevertheless, still a very good comp here and a meta comp that you can absolutely pick and choose your opponent and use this to climb up the ranks. As far as toppings go here for the overall team, we're going to be running full solid almonds on Clotted Cream. Again, though, keep in mind, you're trying to focus on as much damage resistance as you possibly can get, and then also cooldown. Obviously, because this team is designed to take care of the tanks as fast and as quickly as possible, you want to make sure Clotted Cream is utilizing the Light Cage ability as much as possible, and not only that, the AoE damage that he also provides. Next up we've got, that's going to be none other than Sorbet Shark. Again, like I mentioned already, running a full solid almond set, try to maximize as much damage resistance as we possibly can with a little bit of cooldown, and also crit resistance is going to help maintain and keep him alive, but also allow him to do his damage more often. Next up we've got, that's going to be none other than Pumpkin Pie. Again, guys, coming in at a full solid almond set, just trying to maximize the overall damage resistance, crit resistance here. You don't really need a whole lot of cooldown for this or attack speed. Literally just trying to make sure that they can stay alive to keep Pompon on the field. And then last but not least here we've got, and that's going to be none other than Herb and also Parfait. Both of these cookies I've got running a full Swift Chocolate set, just trying to get as much damage resistance and crit resistance and cooldown as you possibly can on both of these cookies. We want to make sure they're utilizing their skill as often as possible, but we also want to make sure that they're also staying alive via that damage resistance substats. Now, obviously, keep in mind here, I know not everybody has a ton of individual toppings in different sets and might not even have enough in order for you to complete a full set at a specific substat. However, though, if that is the case, then I would honestly say play with your overall toppings that you have available to you. Try to really focus in on those three subs. You're looking for the additional damage resistance, the additional cooldown, and also the additional crit resistance for most of the cookies, just so they kind of stay alive, even if that does include you running a mixed set of toppings. Alrighty, so then officially diving into the third arena comp we've got for you guys today, and that's going to bring us to the Dark Cacao, Wild Berry, Pomegranate, Caramel Arrow, and then obviously Parfait. For the three treasures we've got, that's going to be the Old Pilgrim Scroll, the Robe, and then also the Scythe. Now, this one's going to be a slight variation of the Maddie comp. Instead of running 4 frontline units, we're going to instead be running 3 frontline units. This composition's really built around getting Caramel Arrow and Wild Berry to do a megaton of damage, and we're utilizing Pomegranate's attack buff to increase their damage, utilizing Parfait here to give them the debuff resistance and also the healing. We're going to be utilizing, the Scythe to increase their crit percents, further increasing their damage output. We've got the Robe to increase their attack speed, and last but not least, we've got, that's going to be that Scroll to obviously increase everybody's attack, just do insane amounts of damage. Again, here, when it comes to overall toppings of choice for this team, we're going to be running solid almonds on Wild Berry, solid almonds here on Dark Cacao. We're going to be running the crit percent toppings here for Caramel Arrow once again, because we are going to be utilizing Pomegranate's attack buff and also the Scythe, so we don't need to be running Searing Raspberry. Last but not least, we've got, that's going to be Pomegranate, once again coming in on a full Swift Chocolate set. And then last but not least, we've got, that's going to be Parfait here running a full Swift Chocolate again. Again, keep in mind here that each one of these, all we're looking for is as much damage resistance as we possibly can stack, along with crit resistance to increase their overall survivability, and then obviously as much cooldown as we possibly can to make sure that they can obviously utilize their skills more often and potentially earn us the win. Alrighty, so then now we officially talked about the 3 arena comps that you guys can can use to help you build. The last thing I want to do before we hop out of today's video, and that's going to be offer you guys some tips and some strategies and things that you guys can use right now to ensure that you guys are getting these wins to close off the season. Some of those things that you need to be looking for is going to be beyond attack power. As you guys can see in the top right here, all we get at these higher tiers are less and less information, and as you can see here in Masters 2, we get a broad generalization here for attack power 600,000 plus. That is it. We get no other information, so that doesn't really help us here. Instead, what we need to be doing is making sure that we're looking at each individual cookie that we can currently see, and then also aligning that up alongside the individual treasures. Most team compositions out there, once you start to play the arena quite often at those higher ranks, you will start to understand, what composition works well with what treasures, and then not only that, you will start to see a pattern with the cookies being used for specific team composition. So again, absolutely make sure you're paying attention here, and not only that, make sure that you can absolutely beat the team. If a team's got better higher level cookies and higher level treasures, chances are they're not going to be somebody that you can obviously beat. Same thing goes vice versa. If you see a team that might have higher level cookies but a lot lower level treasures, or maybe they are, right equal with you, that kind of gives you a better understanding if it is somebody that you can beat or somebody that is going to end up beating you, causing you to lose trophies or medals, aka somebody you probably don't want to be going up against. The second thing I want to mention here, and that's going to be utilizing your defense to your advantage, but also making sure you're not getting nailed by a bait team. And essentially, bait teams are going to be really weak defenses for that overall account's progression or their rank. If you happen to see an account in something like Masters 2, for instance, that has very low level cookies, well, that's typically a sign of a bait team. And what they're doing is they're basically waiting for these low level accounts to hit them, right? Because obviously you see those low level cookies and you're like, I can beat that. You hit them, you get a couple of trophies or medals, and you move on with your life thinking you got the upper win. However, though, it's actually not the case. What's going to happen is they're waiting for their defense to fill up with the ability to, pop off all these revenges, and they're going to save that till the last couple hours before the reset officially happens, hoping to just gain a massive amount of additional medals and trophies to then bump them up, even higher tiers to hopefully increase their rewards once the season does end. And you can absolutely do this as well just by setting up a weak defense. However, though, I will say if you're a, casual player or a low-level account or even probably a mid-game account, it's not really advised to do that because setting up a bait team, especially at this late in the season, there's tons of players out there looking to grind and level up, and you don't want to be getting hit so much that whatever rank you're currently on is dropped so low that you just pretty much run out of time to be able to pop off all of the wins or, the revenges, or even, climb the arena to get back up to whatever the rank it is. So I would honestly say this last 24 hours, don't use a bait team. Instead, replace it with a good, solid defense, because as you can see here, I've got several successful defenses. I've got a couple losses, but I've got several successful defenses where I'm actually gaining medals just by having a really good defense set. So again, it can absolutely work both ways. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up the video for today. One last thing that I've got for you guys, and that's going to be some encouragement, man. Even if you are a low-level account, early game account, and your cookies are, level 10, 15, 20, doesn't matter. Absolutely still get in here and grind out as much arena as you possibly can before the reset. Any increase in rank, any increase in tier is going to only give you additional rewards. You can't lose but only so many times, all right? So again, definitely don't feel bad about it. Get in here, grind it out as much as you can, pick and choose the opponents that you know you can beat, utilize the free refresh tool to your advantage, and not only that, guys, build these 3 compositions if you have no other options, because I'm telling you, they will help you increase your overall rank, thus increasing your rewards. You guys let me know what your thoughts are down below on this. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe here on the channel for everything Cookie Run Kingdom related as I cover it all. And with that being said, guys, I will see you on the next one.